Chalakaya Chakshurumiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Vandegam Shri Guruvaram Shri Rupanuga Pravaram Brajara Rasikam Chanarayanam Tantrapanam Shri Guru Charanam Bande Ramana Prestha Bhutale Rupanuga Bhaktiram Chakri Pamurti Narayanam Namashrestam Manumapi Sachiputram Matra Swarupam Rupam Tasya Grajanurupuri Madhurim Gosthavatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Ahoradhika Madhavasyam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Namaste Gurudevaya Sarva Siddhi Pradaine Sarva Mangala Rupaya Sarva Ananda Vidaine Radha Sammukha Samsakhim Sakhi Sangani Vasinim Tamaham Satatam Bande Guru Rupam Param Sakhim Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Taradaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tara Bhaktaya Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Takta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Primero que nada quiero ofrecer reverencias millones de veces. First of all, I would like to offer my humble obeisances millions of times to the lotus feet of my divine spiritual master, Niktarila Praviston Vishnupada Mahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtutara Shima Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Guru Maharaj. And I pray for his causeless mercy. Also, I would like to offer my humble obeisance millions of times to the lotus feet of all the Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, and I pray for their causeless mercy. Today, and to all devotees who will watch and are watching, I offer my obeisances to them. I would like to glorify, as they have requested me to glorify Srila Gurudeva in English. Of course, we must understand that being such a transcendental personality like Guru means darkness, ignorance, Maya, and Ru means light. He who can give that transcendental light, the vision of the transcendental realm, the spiritual realm. Actually, that is really the Guru. Guru is he who can give transcendental vision. So, and who can take us out from that darkness of material existence. So I wanted to speak a little bit about this verse, this Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Gurvashtakam, where he describes Samsara Dava Nalalidha Loka Tranaya Karunya Khana Ghanatvam Praptasya Kalyana Gunaravasya Bande Guru Sri Charanaravinam. Here it's describing how Gurudev, I was completely immersed in the darkness, the darkest hells of material existence. I was there in the most abominable types of darkness. But Srila Gurudev, by his causeless mercy, he saw, who is this person? So fallen, so sinful, so wretched. How can I help this person? She is so beyond. Probably never seen any Jagai Madai like me. Jagai Madai is nothing compared to how I came to Srila Gurudev. When he saw such a fallen, wretched soul, his heart melted with compassion, and he thought, how can I help this person? He thought, if I can save this supremely fallen person, then his mission is successful. So he mercifully, his heart melted with compassion when he saw how wretched, how fallen, how really a soul could actually reach such low levels of consciousness. His heart melted, and he bestowed upon me the priceless jewel of Harinam. He gave me Harinam. He said, I must help this wretched soul. So he gave Harinam, and immediately after this, my life changed completely, forever. One parikrama, only one parikrama with Srila Gurudev, going to all the 12 forests of Braja Mandala, hearing this powerful, supremely powerful Harikatha, hearing this Harikatha from Srila Gurudev, and completely, he changed my life completely, forever, forever. After 1 month, when I first came to Gurudev, I remember using kajal and bracelets, jewels, gold, silver, earrings, and Srila Gurudev would stare at me and say, and my diamond in my nose, he would say, we are eternal servants of God, but we want to be queens. Every single jewel should be used for the service of Srimati Radhika. So, for that powerful speech that he gave after that, immediately after that, I remember not being able to wear all those saris that I had bought, full of colors. I said, I cannot use this. This is too opulent. Immediately, in instant, in just seconds, he could change your mind that all your desires, all the needs of your body and your mind, he was so powerful that he could actually make you detached and have no more at all, have no more attachment in 1 second. The vanity of dressing very nice, the clothes, at that time, of course, now due to aparad and so many things, this desire is coming back, but at that time, Srila Gurudev could completely detach one from the needs of the body and the mind just by one glance, by one sentence. And after that, I was going mad. I sold my camera and my jewels that I had bought. I gave him back and I bought deities. And I was worshipping, and running all over Braj Mandala to decorate them with jewels. Because Gurudev said every single jewel should be used for the service of Srimati Radhika. So then that's what he did with those powerful words. That was the power of his Harikatha. So, Samsaradava, Gurudev takes us out of that cycle of birth and death. He showers us with those clouds full of mercy, full of grace. He gives grace and bliss. Just one glance, sidelong glance, and so much bliss, so much grace was there that could change our lives forever. And if you had even one intention, only one step towards staying in Braj, then he would give everything to that person. Then it is said in this Gurvashtakam of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vadrita Madhyatmana Shorasena Romanchakam Pashrutaranga Bhajo Pande Guru Sri Charana Ravindam. It's that Gurudev, he is always tasting those moods, but he is in that Leela. Gurudev is with Mahaprabhu. He's a Nitya Parikar. So he's absorbed in tasting those moods of Mahaprabhu. He's eternally, in his eternally youthful age, younger than 15, with long curly hair, black, oiled with coconut oil, with very deep blue eyes. As a Kishore, he's always playing his mridanga and singing so beautifully, eternally. He is eternally doing Sankirtan with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he's tasting the ecstasy of Prem, Ashtasatik Bhavs, the 8 symptoms of Prem, his tears coming from his eyes, his hair standing on end, his voice choked up with emotion. And he's always, but in Gaur Leela, he's always there. He is with them. So Srila Gurudev, he taught us which is the best of all kirtans. He explained that kirtan is just like ordinary kirtan, but sankirtan means under the guidance of a pure devotee who can supply mood and bhav. So Srila Gurudev offered us the highest type of kirtan. That highest type of kirtan is the one that is full of braj prem, of prem ras, is bhakti ras. That kirtan he gave. The one that he is there with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's with Gauranga. He is doing kirtan. He gave us passport. He gave us visa. With Diksha mantras, with Harinam, he's given us entrance into that transcendental realm where Radha and Krishna are also there. But now we're talking about Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu is there and Gurudev is there. He is playing Mridanga. He is with all the associates, with all Guru Parampara, they're all there. And he is doing this Prem Kirtan. So Gurudev offered us not the Kirtan that is very loud with so many beautiful instruments and very beautiful voice. No, he gave us Bhav Kirtan. He taught us, he gave us this. He also showed us one time in Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math, he spoke something very beautiful. He said, some people think that doing kirtan, sankirtan is going with a drum, boom, 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 loud in the street, yelling, Hare. He said, but no. There's also another kirtan, which is the highest class of kirtan. When you sit alone, quietly, and vibrate, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, very slowly. And you meditate in Ashtakala Lila, Smaranam, when you're remembering, then this is the highest class of kirtan. Also one time, I remember those powerful classes that they make a samskar in your heart. And Gurudev said, while doing kirtan, trying to enter into Ras Lila and serving there, he said, this is bhajan. So this is what Gurudev came to give us. He gave us something very, very wonderful. So in this way, Srila Gurudev taught us the real kirtan, sankirtan, that one which is full of prem ras, bhakti ras, which is internal, which is in the heart, which is trying to understand the transcendental kirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and of course of Shri Radha and Krishna. Then the third verse of Gurvastakam says, Chaturvida Shri Bhagavat Prasadam Swadana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangam Kiteva Triptim Bhajata Sateva Bande Guru Sri Charana Ravindam. Srila Gurudev explains how, this Chaturvida, 4 types of foodstuffs, prasadam, offered to God, like, solid or juicy or liquid or the one you chew, or different types. So, Srila Gurudev, I missed the verse. First is, Shibigrahana Nana Nityanana Shringaratam Mandiram Arjanado Chuktasyam Bhaktam Chanyunjatopi Bhande Guru Sri Charana Ravindam. This third verse of Gurvashtakam, Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that Guru is always engaged in the temple, Shringar, decorating the deities, Radha and Krishna, and he engages others to clean, etc. So when I first came to Keshavadi Gaudiya Math, 1996, I remember that the temple was very strict. At that time, women could not live there or stay there. They would only come during the day for classes and then leave. Gurudeva was very strict with his brahmacharis. And you could see that the deities, they were not so much decorated opulently daily, every day, daily, or making garlands for it. But they bought the garlands already made. People were not so absorbed in doing so much external archana. This is something I noticed. And the reason was because Srila Gurudev by his mystic potency, he infused all this potency in the heart of all his brahmacharis that were living there. So they were doing bhajan. They were chanting 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs every day. They were in their rooms and they were internally, within their heart. They were, within their hearts, they were doing seva, shingar. They were decorating Shri Radha Krishna, but they were decorating with their internal nature. They were serving that temple that Gurudev gave us. When Gurudev gives us Diksha, when he gives us Harinam, he gives us a place where Radha Krishna can sit, and that's Braja, that's Vrindavan. So that kunja, that shringar, that temple in a kunja, that's the one that all the brahmacharis there were decorating, shringar, and Gurudev also. But also externally, when Gurudev come every day, when he would come to see the deities, he would always prostrate himself like a stick, like a danda. Sat, danda pranams, and he would correct. Oh, the peacock has to go more to the, Krishna's peacock has to be going through Radhika, and all those details he would say, he would correct the Shringar. And, but I remember how in this time when I came, 1996, the deities were not so much externally worshipped because everybody was doing bhajan. Gurudev used to say that the heart and soul of Thakurji is Harinam. And if a person is doing so much archan and archan and archan, but are not doing Nam Seva, then this is only idolatry, like idol worship. So Gurudev would make so much this emphasis of doing Nam Bhajan. He wanted us to chant more. I so many times heard that he would discourage people from, if they didn't have deities and they want to get them, and they told him, Gurudev said, no. One time he even said, it's just a waste of time. Imagine. He said, do Nam, chant Harinam. Because he would say in other classes, if you're doing worship, doing incense, circles, and all these things, there's very little result, very little benefit. But if you chant Harinam directly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, it's directly Radha and Krishna. This is directly Radha and Krishna. And Gurudev has given us the seed of bhakti, a prem. Within this seed, when we chant Harinam, this will start to, like a lotus, open, and all these moods will start to come out. So Srila Gurudev, he was not, at the beginning, after maybe so much came ISKCON, so he tried to just like, it was out of hand. But at the beginning, Gurudev his own mood was try to only do Harinam, sadhana, bhajan. Enter to Raganuga, sadhana, bhajan. Worship Radha Krishna in your heart. Nothing so much external. This is Gurudev's speciality, really. So, after this very beautiful verse, Chaturvidashi Bhagavat Prasadam Swananatritam Haribhaktasam Kitepati Bhajata Sadeva Bhante Guroshi Charanaravinda, which in this verse it is explained how there's 4 types of spiritual food, prasad. And this food, Gurudev, we could see always. He was always so concerned that all the devotees would get prasadam at the time of Brajmandal Parikrama. He was like, prasad, prasad. It was very important. And because this prasad that Gurudev gave us, this prasad was not ordinary prasad. The prasad, sometimes we think we offer to the deity and it's already prasad. But no. Only if a Mahabhagavat is present on earth, then he can transcendentally offer it, enter the kunjas of Radha and Krishna, and offer them. And at that time, then it can be Mahaprasad. So Srila Gurudev, he used to give us that Mahaprasad, infused with so many moods, with so many moods. Srila Gurudev, he would give us this Mahaprasad, and actually, now we think Gurudev left. but he didn't leave. He's always there. He's eternally, because he's a Nitya Parikar. He's an eternal associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. So in Gaur Lila, he's always there. So at the time of Prasad, when it's Prasad Seva, see, Gurudev gave us entrance at the time of Prasad that this is Nitya Seva. This Prasad Seva is Nitya Seva. To serve Shishi Gauranga, Nityananda, Advaita Gadadhar Shiva, the Pancha Tattva. They're always sitting there taking prasadam. Gurudev is always there. He's always serving them. He's serving all the parikars of Mahaprabhu. He's serving prasad to them. So this is very important, to make a connection with Gurudev in our hearts so that we can never be separated from him. And at the time of prasad, we can serve with Srila Gurudev and all our Guru Varga. This is the goal of prasad. This is the meaning of prasad. Seva means whenever you're tasting, whatever you're tasting is actually what is Mahaprabhu tasting, what is Krishna tasting, what is Radharani tasting. When your body becomes the body which you think, this is not my body. Every day we put on tilak. And this tilak has names, but Gurudev said those who are doing Raganuga Sadhan, they should put the name of Radha Mantra. Om Shim Ram Radhikaya Namaha, Om Shim Ram Radhikaya Namaha, Om Shim Ram Radhikaya Namaha, Om Shim Ram Radhikaya Namaha. Because this body, it is said that a person who wears the 12 tilaks in the body, his body is non-different from Vishnu's body. And I could not understand that for many years. But now that we are putting the tilak, that it's Radha's body, it's Krishna's body, it's Gurudev's body, then what happens is that at the time of tasting prasad, you can taste those moods, because Gurudev, because we have offered this body to Gurudev. Gurudev, this body belongs to nobody else. Nobody can have this body, only you. This body belongs only to you, Srila Gurudev, to nobody else. So many times Gurudev refused 20 years ago. Oh, can I get married? Never, never. I would take you off my list. He refused. He said, I am your only friend. I don't want you to make relationships with anybody, only with me. Gurudev said, I'm very high class Vaishnava. See, he did not even let me have, he said, even friends, girls, I don't want you to have relationship with anyone. So we should try. I have not been able to do it, but we should try to be 1% focusing that this body is not my body. This body belongs to Srila Gurudev. How he wants to use it, please inform me. Please reveal in my heart how I can use it. So Srila Gurudev, once you dedicate this body, you think, Gurudev, this body is only yours. And with the tilak, Gurudev said, put the tilak, Om Shim Ram Radhikaya Namaha, means Radha Mantra, that this body is Radharani's body. So at the time of taking prasad, Srila Gurudev is there present. He manifests there. He's eternally there. So this is prasad seva, because Gurudev is serving to all the parikars, to Radha Krishna Lila also. So Gurudev, he gave us this prasad. He gave us, before this, what did we know about prasad? We thinking, prasad, seva. But no. Gurudev gave everything deep with mood, with bhav, with prem, with bhakti ras. So this prasad is the way we meet with Gurudev. We meet with Gurudev through prasad. We also meet with Gurudev through kirtan. Like Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Bhatrita Madhya. Gurudev manifests there. He is there. He's in that realm. In, for example, Hare Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhu Sudan Giridhari Gopinath Mata Namoham Chititara Nityananda Shri Avita Gupta Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad. This song, Gurudev is always there. Through this song, Gurudev appears. He appears eternally. He is there because he's always doing this kirtan with Mahaprabhu. This is eternal. This is nitya. And this is what Gurudeva has given us. He has given us that type of kirtan and that type of prasad, not any ordinary mundane or so-called prasad. No, he gave us the real prasad. Pra means Prabhu, God, Krishna, Mahaprabhu, and shad means sakshat, directly. You have darshan. You have direct darshan of Gauranga, of Nityananda, of all his parikars. This is real meaning of prasad. So in prasad, how many moods he's giving Gurudev. Then Sri Radhika Madhava Yona Para Madhurya Leela Gunarupanam Madhurya Leela Gunarupanam Pratiksara. When I say like that, I forget. Sri Radhika Madhava Yona Para Madhurya Leela Gunarupanam Pratiksara Spadana Rupase Bande Guru Charana. I offer my humble obeisance to Guru, to the Lord Sri Guru. Why? Because he Shri Radhika Madhavayo Apara Madhurya Lila. He's always speaking the Madhurya, the sweet, intimate Leelas. Madhurya Lila and the Guna, the qualities, Rupa, the form. Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Pratikshana Spadana Rupa Bande Guru Charana. He is always there. Gurudev is always describing. One of Gurudev's speciality, when Gurudev started to preach in 1996 to Western countries, to Western people, was he had to start making people understand, why did Mahaprabhu come to this world? Before him, nobody understood. Everybody was thinking, oh, maybe I chant 16 rounds and I'll go to Golok Vrindavan as a peacock, or anything like that. But Gurudev said, no. You must chant 1 lakh. You must be under the guidance of a Vaishnava. You must understand the goal. Anarpita charinchirat karuneva chinakalo samapajitununato ujvalarasam sabhaktusham hari purata sundari rujikaramba samipita sadahridaya kandares puratu bhasa chinandara. Gurudev, with this verse, he started preaching all over West very strongly. Why Mahaprabhu came to this world. Before him, people were doing Vaidhi Bhakti for 30 years. Like Vaikuntha worship, without understanding the mood, Braj or goal. The difference between Braja and, for example, Dwarkadish Krishna or Mathuradish Krishna or Nrsimhadev. All the same. No. Gurudev gave the speciality. Aradhyo Bhagavam Brajesha Tarajasta Dhama Brindavanam Raimya Kachitupasana Vargiraya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramalam Amalam Prema Pumarto Maha Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Mataridam Tatratona Pada. Very strongly, these 2 verses. Why? What is our Aradhyo, which is our type? Who is our worshipful God? Bhagavam Brajesha Tanayas, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Where? That Brindavan. In Brindavan Dham. This is very important verse. Without this, nobody would understand Mahaprabhu's appearance in this world and the teachings of Mahaprabhu. Although we can read him in a book 1, 2, 3, 10 times, we could never understand him unless Srila Gurudev would describe in detail the meaning. For example, Anarpita Charinchirat, Mahaprabhu came after a very long time. He had not descended to this world for millions of years. All the avatars come from Vaikuntha, so they can only give Vaikuntha Prem. So then Krishna descended with the Radha Kanti, the Radha Bhav, like Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and he came to taste Prem Ras Niryas. But he also came to Unato Jvala Rasa. He came to give the most elevated and radiant ras, mood of service, which is Manjari Bhav, the service of Srimati Radhika in the kunjas of Vrindavan. Only Manjaris can enter, the Sakis could not. So this Gurudev gave. Gurudev came to give this. Mahaprabhu came to give this. It is said, Unato Jvala Rasam Sabhakti Shriyam. Gurudev explains what is Shriyam. It is the treasure, But Sri means the beauty of Radharani. Which is her beauty? Her beauty is Rupa Manjari. They're her Manjaris. So Gurudev came to give us this mood, Gopi Bhav, Manjari Bhav. He came to give us this. The lowest, at least in my case, the most fallen, the most degraded soul as myself. But he took pity. He said, this is so fallen, this is such a wretched soul. I really have to help her. And how? The lowest of the lowest of the lowest, what did he do? He gave the highest of the highest of the highest. He gave us Manjari Bhav. He gave every single one of us the seed of bhakti, the prem bhakti. He gave us this Manjari Bhav. He gave us in our Diksha mantras, Guru mantra, Guru Gayatri. It's Gurudev's eternal form. He revealed his eternal form as a Manjari through seed form. Guru mantra, Guru Gayatri, Gaura mantra, Gaura Gayatri. He gave us this, his Swarup also in Gaur Leela. Everything is there in seed form. And he gave us a Gopal mantra, which is Krishna himself. And Kama Gayatri is Srimati Radhika. She enchants. She is the enchanter of millions of cupids. She enchants him. So, and Panchatattva also, very important. All these things, Radha mantra. So many things Gurudev has given. He gave us everything. He gave us all the spiritual world, all the transcendental realm, everything in seed form. Everything's there. It depends on us if we're actually chanting, if we're actually surrendering our bodies only to Gurudev, to Guru Seva, to Guru and Vaishnavas. So, this very beautiful verse, Shiradika Madhava Yora Para Madhurya Lila Gunarupa. Gurudev is always, he is a Manjari. He is Radhika's intimate, eternal associate, Parikar. So, Srimati Radhika herself has sent her. And Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, he himself has asked him, please help my disciples. It's all recorded. It is transcribed. Prabhupada, Swami Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he said, I have collected so many malachas, so many yavanas, so many monkeys. I could not train them further. Please help them. I could not teach them more. And that is the only reason why Srila Gurudev, taking that order upon his head, he went to Western countries to make people understand the real reason of the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He clearly established the goal, which is Manjari Bhav, Gopi Bhav. Like all our Guru, Rupa Rupa Guru Varga, they're all Manjaris. He explained one by one. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Kamala Manjari. He himself has revealed it because he's realized. Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Nani Mani Manjari. The glance of Srimati Radhika descends to this world. The embodiment of her glance is Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. How high all these things Gurudev revealing. And all our Guru Varga, they're all Manjaris. They're all eternal associates of Radha and Krishna, have come to this world to help Mahaprabhu in his mission of giving what was not given for millions of years. Unato Jvala Rasam. That service in the conjugal love, in the kunjas, in the conjugal love, divine intimate love of Shri Radha Krishna. That entrance. This is what Gurudev has given us. He has given us this to enter and serve Shri Radha Krishna with the temple of our hearts. Like I said previously, when I first went to Keshavadi Gautam, 1996, now things probably have changed, but people were absorbed doing bhajan, like Rupa and Raghunath, like our Guru Varga. They were all sitting, Hare Krishna, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, in their tiny rooms, very austere, And they were all doing Bhav Seva. Gurudev wants us to do Bhav Seva. Not everything external, showing. But internally, Bhav Seva. Served by Bhav, by moods in the heart. To Guru, to Radha, to Krishna, to Mahaprabhu, to all. Temple in the hearts. Gurudev used to say, I'm not going around the world making temples of concrete and cement. I'm making temples of Krishna consciousness. I'm building temples in the hearts of my disciples. So we can see such gigantic constructions and all these things sometimes, but there's no bhakti. I mean, transcendental bhakti that can be reflected from the heart to the heart, like Guru used to do to all his disciples. He could synchronize, like in a radio, different channels accordingly to all his students at the same time. And he knew what every single one, in front of 1,000 people, he knew what every single person was up to, his adhikar, what he could give him. But really the only qualification, I think, was to have love for Gurudev. Nothing else. Not that you're very intelligent, or that you're a great scholar, or that you're anything. Just the sincere desire to surrender and serve Guru and have love for him, that was enough for Gurudev to share his heart with others. So Srila Gurudev, he gave us all the opportunity, the same. Some took advantage of it, some did not. Some did things that disappointed him. Like I feel I always have disappointed Gurudev. I have not been what he wanted really me to be. He wanted me to be, he told me one time in Costa Rica, he says, I want that you should be like me. I said, Gurudev, that's impossible. He said, you should be like me. So, for example, in the song that we sing, Samala Sakasas, Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koro Eita Setina Pekshaya Tihina, Keno, Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koro Eita Setina Pekshaya Tihina, Sakala Sahane Balatiya Koro Nijamane Sprihahina, Sakala Samana Korite Shakati Dehunatha Jata Jata, Taveto Gaivo Harinama Suke Aparada Hovehata, Kavehe no Kripa Labija Ejana Kritarta Hoi Benata, Shakti Buddhihin Amiyatidin, Shakti Buddhihin Amiyatidin, Korumore Atmasata Gurudev, Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dasem. So this is Gurudev. Kavehe no kripa lavija ejana kritarta hoi venat. Shakti buddhihin amiyatidin. I have no shakti, no power. I'm so stupid, Dina. I'm so Shakti buddhihin amiyatid. I'm so low. I have no intelligence. I have no power. Please, Gurudev, take my soul and make me like you. So this is Gurudev. He wanted. He gave us all the same opportunity. He gave us all the same seed. He gave us all the predisposition. But we have independent free will. So we have free will and we have the power of discrimination. We can discriminate, this is good or this is bad. We have that power. And we decide we want to do the bad thing or we want to do the good thing. We decide. So Gurudev Gurudev is not going to force us to take the correct path. He'll give us the free will. It's up to us to choose. So today I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, what would I be without Srila Gurudev? Where would I be? In hell, no doubt. The darkest regions of hell. How Gurudev took us out completely from this materialistic life, from this simple, very low, like very supremely low consciousness. He took me out. How? I still cannot understand why. If it's not because he's the most merciful person in the whole universe. Not only he is so merciful that he took me out of the darkness regions of hell, but he could also give me a taste of one drop of this bhakti ras, like Raghunath Das Goswami is telling about his guru. I was not willing to drink. I did not want to drink this bhakti ras mixed with vairagya, renunciation, with detachment. I did not want, but by force, Gurudev by force, he drink. I was unwilling to do it. I did not want to do it. This is me. But Gurudev by force, drink. This one drop of bhakti ras, one. And then all ras, mundane ras, what is this? Mundane ras, disgusting. This is how powerful Gurudev was. But you can't, like a very poor person has this very hard bread, old, and somebody's telling that person, give it up. I have this delicious pie with strawberries at the top and chantilly cream, but he's not willing. But if he tastes that, then he'll give up that old, stale bread. So Srila Gurudev was like that. He knew the only way that a person, he saw these people, these Westerns are so fallen, are so sinful, so simple. Gurudev used to say when he went to West the first year, when he came back, he said, India is very dirty. People think everything's dirty. Clothes become dirty very quickly in one day. You cannot wear white clothes. But West, everything's very clean. But the hearts are so dirty. Hearts of people are so dirty. So Gurudev, he thought, how can I, which is the fastest and easiest way? And he always took Shastra. Although other acharyas may say not, you cannot hear this pastimes, you cannot speak this pastimes. Gurudev very much follows the Shastra, Srimad Bhagavatam, the commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, where, for example, and Sukadeva Goswami, where in this verse that it says he's always describing Shri Radhika Madhava Yora Paramadhurya Lila Gunarupanam. He's given this Madhurya, this sweet Lila of Radha Krishna conjugal. And also, for example, he translated the most elevated books of the planet. Gopi Gita, Venu Gita, Gita Govita. I mean, those books are topmost, because he knows, he has faith in the declarations of Shastra that says that a person who continuously hear the pastimes of God and Krishna in their love with the gopis, this person, Vikriditam Rajavadui Dachamisho Shadambitaha Anushina Attavadyava Kintu Prodhyam Bhakti Param Bhagavati Tilam Kridam Rogam Hit Rogam Aspahinote Achiranadhira. This verse Vikriditam Rajavadui is so important. Gurudev says this is Sukadeva Goswami, and he gives the commentary of Jiva Goswami and of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that they say that a person who continuously hear the pastimes of Rasa Lila, and after Vikriditam Brajavadurya Shradhambitaha, with faith, and then via speaks it to others, and then speaks it to others after hear it and hear from Guru. Then after he repeats it to others, he says that person will attain Bhakti Param Bhagavati, the highest type of bhakti. At once, this Prem Ras enters the heart, and what? Hrit Rogam, the disease of the heart, lust referring to every single desire we have for any object, thing, or place of this world which is not to love God, this is called lust. So Gurudev said that by hearing this continuously, this prema, this pure love of Radha and Krishna, this is the only way to get rid of the disease of the heart called lust. There's no other way. Gurudev knew this. That's why he gave us the highest literature. He gave such high literature so that people, to help them, the only way to get rid of the disease of the heart, which is material desire, this desire for objects and people and places of this world, or lust for other opposite sex, the only way to get rid of this, there's only one way, and it's to hear the transcendental pastimes of divine love, pure love, transcendental love of Shri Radha Krishna, Rasa Leela. So Gurudev, how much he's Rasikacharya. He is Rasikacharya. Even maybe amongst other Gaudiya Mats, they were like, no, this is not. But Gurudev, even Vishwanath Chakravarti Goswami, Jiva Goswami, in their commentary of that verse, Vikiritam Brajavadubir, it is said that even if a person has appreciation only, he will attain prem, gopi prem. Imagine how powerful. He was saying, by this commentaries, it says a person that says, we cannot hear this kata, it's too high, or we cannot speak, or we cannot hear, or we cannot remember, those people are aparadis. And they're atheists. Why? Because they have no faith in the declarations of Shastra, which is one should continuously hear Rasa Leela. So, Srila Gurudev, very clearly, he explained, for me it's very clear, and sometimes I hear disciples say otherwise, and I'm thinking, what? Didn't they understand with the smooth ever? In Houston, how every single year, without fail, he would speak Venu Geet, Gopi Geet, Rasa Leela, all this Hari Hari Katha. How beautiful. Always in Houston. Very fortunate at Houston buses. How Gurudev poured his heart, his Bam, Ras, all this, he poured it to all the Houston Indians there. He had so much affection for them. So, this is Gurudev's speciality. He came to give us the highest to the lowest, because he knew that the only way to very quickly, and it says that this is the fastest, very fast, you can attain this prem. By hearing, he says that other processes are very slow and very hard, no guarantee. Vaidhi Bhakti, he says, very fast, very slow, very difficult, no guarantee. But with this hearing or chanting every day, Jayati te dikam janmana braja shrayata indira shasvaratrai Naitadrishatam dikshutavaka swaidita savastam vichinnate Pranata dehinam papakarshanam trinacharugam srinikatanam panipanarpitam te padambujam krinukuchasuna krindihishaya. All these rasik, such high moods of the Gopi. We want Gopi Bhav. So this is Gopi Bhav. We should every day recite Gopi Geet. That's the first thing when I came to see Gurudev, actually. I remember now, 1996. They were singing Gopi Geet, and I was crying and crying. I'm thinking, why am I crying so much? Why am I crying? What is this song? And then Gurudev said, every day you should sing this Gopi Geet. You should sing every day Gopi Geet. Because this is the prem, the Gopi Prem that we aspire. We want Gopi Prem. We aspire the moods of the Gopis. But if we don't know, imagine by singing these songs, it's so powerful. So Gurudev would say, you should sing every day. Then again in Badger, for the second time he said, you should learn Gopi Geet. Teach it to others, he said. So I went to China when Gurudev left this world. I went to China, And we translated into Chinese, and to all the cities I went, everybody was singing, and everybody would start crying, the whole room crying. They didn't even understand why. And I said, why not? This is Gurudev's heart. This is the mood of the gopis. So powerful. Gopi Git. So if we see in Braja, Gopi Git is like the national hymn. Everybody knows the Gopi Git. Everybody sings it. Everybody knows it in Vrindavan. So Srila Gurudev, Shri Radhika Madhava Yora Paramadura Lila Gunarupa Namnam Pratikshana Svatana Rupasya Bande Guru Sichar. Gurudev is always glorifying, singing the glories of Shishi, Radha, Radhika Madhava in the forest of Vrindavan, the sweetness of the qualities, their pastimes, completely, always absorbed in these beautiful pastimes. He would take us to Braj Mandala Parikrama 1 month, walking through the 12 forests of Vrindavan, sometimes walking 1 hour through a little farmers where there's all these plantations and little tiny paths, walking, everybody lined up, 1 hour, 2 hours, then getting there, oh, this is the pastime where Radha and Krishna something, and then 1 second, then okay, let's go back again, walking in the fields, getting our feet full of Braj, Raj, the dust of Braja, and also speaking every single place all the pastimes of Krishna, Radha, their love, absorbed in Braj. He loved the Brajavasis, how he would take chapatis from the houses of the Brajavasis. He's this Braj, 100% Braj mood, only Braj. Srila Gurudev is Parikam, Parikam is Gurudev. Gurudev is Parikam, because Parikam is remembering, talking for Harikatha all day, morning hearing Harikatha, Kirtan, Harikatha, Kirtan, visiting the places of pastimes, so powerful. Any person who does this Parikam 1 month, his life just changed forever, no doubt. So Srila Gurudev also says, Nikunja Juno Ratikeli Sidya Yayali Virjuktira Pekshaniya Tatrati Daksharati Valavasya Pande Guru Shicharana Ravindam. Nikunja Juno. There's the Kunja and there's a Nikunja. Nikunja is even more intimate, 100 times more intimate than the ordinary Kunja. The Nikunja and the Kunja Nivritti is not even the Manjaris can go in. But sometimes Radhika covers their head and lets them in. This is Kunja Nivritti. But the Kunja, Nikunja, very intimate place, Nikunja Juno, Rati, Keli, Sidhe. It was where Radha and Krishna relation their love, their Rati, their Prem. Yayalivir Yuktira Pekshaniya Tatati Takshat Atiba. Gurudev is directly there serving. Gurudev. He's an eternal Manjari. All the Manjaris have manifested according to Radharani's bhav, mood. For example, Radhika is made of bhav, pure spiritual transcendental emotion. Mahabhava Swarupini Radhika Thakurani. She is made of Mahabhav, a highest degree of Prem, of divine love. Prem, Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Raganurag, Bhav, Mahabhav. More than Madanakya Mahabhav. She is the highest. The highest peak of Prem embodiment, Srimati Radhika. So, what was I saying? Sri Radhika Madhava Yora Para. Madhurya Lila, no, Nikunja Juno, Rati Keli Sidhe. So Radha Krishna, Radhika is made of Mahabhav. So her bhavs, her emotions become personified as all these gopis, all these manjaris. So for example, Radhika's beauty manifests as Rupa Manjari, her Rupa. Then Radhika's Ras manifests like Rasa Manjari. Or Radhika's Rati manifests like Rati Manjari. Or Radhika's, according to her bhav, her moods, she will manifest and personify as the Manjari. So Srila Gurudev, he is when Radha Krishna is very intimately embracing, kissing, then he manifests like, this is Raman Manjari. So this is why Gurudeva is the embodiment of that love of Radha and Krishna. Therefore, he was the one, Radha Rani gave him the mission that he could come and propagate this love through Gopi Geet, Benu Geet, Gita Govinda, all these wonderful books, because he is embodiment of this love of Srimati, Radha and Krishna. He personifies. Just like Kamala Manjari, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Radhika is always playing with a lotus, with a play lotus. This becomes personified as Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also, Radhika is lotus, everything, like, in Kama Gayatri, all the different moons. Okay, so anyway, let's not talk about that. So anyway, in this way, Srila Gurudev, he came to give what could help, the only thing that can save this world from this lust, this desire that everybody's mad for desires, material desires. Everybody's mad for having this and that and this and that and this and that. All this lust. Desire, material desire, any material desire. But the only way that one can actually be freed from these desires is by hearing. The only way that one can free oneself from these desires, all these material, infinite desires of the mind, for the body, or for the senses, is to hear the sweet, pure, spotless, transcendental, divine pastimes of love of Shri Radha and Krishna. By hearing, because this is the declaration of Sukadeva Goswami, Vikriditam Brajavaduri, this verse, that a person who continuously hears and repeats after to others, then that disease of the heart, kama, will prem first. It's not the other way around. It's not you have to get rid first of all your desires and then you can hear. No. By entering one drop of prem into your heart, this ras, then all this disease of the heart will go away. There's no taste for mundane ras. This is the real process. So Srila Gurudev, he very nicely established that. And those who say otherwise are not his disciples and did not understand anything that he actually came to give. He actually came and taught us the process. And Gurudev was very expert. He would speak a class for 1 hour and he would speak all about Raganuga Sadhan. And at the end he will say, but you have to do Vaidhi Bhakti, and then the person with the adhikar, with the qualification of Vaidhi Bhakti, would go out and say, we have to do Vaidhi Bhakti. But the persons that had samskars, that had impressions in their heart from past lives, the persons that in previous life they had samskars of Raganuga Sadhana Bhajan, then immediately from that point they could start. Those who did not, in this life they would have to hear a lot of Harikatha to make impressions, so that maybe in next life they can start. But by hearing Harikatha from a very powerful Rasik, Bhavuka, Vaishnava, which could make so many impressions in the heart, then anytime, this life or next, could start doing sadhana, internal bhajan, sadhana bhajan, raga nuga, anu, under the guidance of those who have raga. The Ragatmika chants. Gurudeva explained what is raga nuga bhakti. He says, when a jiva in this world aspires to attain the service, a particular service, for example, how the manjaris serve. One time we were in Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math. We were upstairs, 3 in the afternoon. Gurudev came out. Only 5 people were there around him. He started looking at the picture of Seva Kunj, Radha and Krishna and all the manjaris. And he gave this very beautiful explanation of Raga Nuga Bhakti. He said, you should not try to meditate alone in Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is Vishai Bhagavan. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is tasting all the rasas. He is tasting all the rasas. So, we don't want to be like him. We don't want to be like the enjoyer. So don't meditate in Krishna alone. Also, Radhika alone, not meditate, don't meditate in her alone, because she has Madanaki Mahabhav, the highest type of prema. We cannot be like her. No one can be like her. Rather, you should always meditate in Radha and Krishna together with the manjaris, like Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Vinod Manjari, Rama Manjari, how they're serving, they're fanning Radha and Krishna, they're bringing them tambula to eat, they're bringing them water, they're massaging their feet, and they're doing, or they're decorating Srimati Radhika, or combing with a beautiful comb with jewels. They're combing Srimati Radhika's hair and making a braid and putting flowers. This kind of seva, this is what you should meditate on. You should meditate on how the manjaris serve Shri Radha Krishna, because that is the bhav, that is the mood that we want, that should enter into our hearts. So Srila Gurudev, and this is Raga Nuga. Raga Nuga, what is the meaning of Raga Nuga Bhakti? So many people speculate, it's like, the forbidden word, you cannot talk, this is too high, this is impossible. No, it's not. It is very possible and it's very reachable. But first you have to understand what it is, and second, you have to serve and give your life and soul to Guru, and then Gurudev will give. This comes by inspiration of Guru. But Raga Nuga means under the guidance of those who have Rag, who have deep love and attachment for Radha Krishna. Who are they? The Ragatmika Jan, the Brajavasis. Those who are Ragatmik are Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, are, for example, Jashodama, Nanda Baba. They are Ragatmikas. They are eternal associates of Radha Krishna who love Krishna with all their hearts, who adore Krishna with all their hearts. They have Rag, deep love. So Raga Nuga means Anu, to be under the guidance of those who have Rag. Who will this be? They are, in our case, Manjaris, for example, Rupa Manjari. And to aspire those services that they do. We aspire to attain those services. And we practice, we internally, in our hearts, those services. That's what Srila Gurudev describes as Raganuga Sadhana. For example, how Rupa Manjari and Gurudev, under his guidance, her guidance, how they are in the kunja, how they're serving, how they're fanning with a fan, peacock fan, or with a cloth fan, or with a chamara fan, how they're fanning Radha Krishna. This service. Srila Gurudev, very funny. Srila Gurudev, he wanted us to do internal service of Radha Krishna. He wanted us to practice sadhana. Sadhana bhajan. Sadhana, Raga Nuga Sadhana, means under the guidance of those who have Rag, the Ragatmika Jans, who, like Rupa Manjari, how they're serving Radha Krishna, combing Radhika's hair, making a braid, massaging, one Manjari massaging Krishna's feet, another Manjari massaging Radha's feet. This services, this is our aspiration. This is our goal. Sometimes people are absorbed in only knowledge, reading, or so much Harikatha here, there, but who is actually taken into practice? Only one verse. Only one. One time I used to tell one friend in Vrindavan, all day running here and there, service, all day, and I said, but have you sat down for 1 minute, 5 minutes, 2 minutes? Just sit and just think of Krishna. Only 2 minutes? 5? Sometimes we're posting Harikatha, this and that, but are we actually doing ourselves? Gurudeva used to say, don't preach if you don't preach first to yourself. Don't preach unless you yourself are practicing. So anyway, in this way, this is very important, so much to say about Gurudev, because this is all his teachings. We can tell, oh, how Gurudev gave us a glance and his eyes are like this, or his body is like this, or that, but really Gurudev is Harikatha. Harikatha is Gurudev, Gurudev is Harikatha. Because he gave more than 10,000 lectures. Nobody, never, ever, has there ever been an acharya, ever, from any of the four sampradayas, not Madhvacharya, not Ramanuja, not any acharya that has given so many Harikatha, 10,000 lectures of Gurudev. So if we want to glorify Gurudev, we must glorify his Harikatha, because Gurudev is Harikatha. Harikatha is Gurudev. Gurudev is Ras. Ras is Rasesh. He is Rasikacharya. He is full of Ras, so he's only given Ras. Gurudev is embodiment of Ras, so he's always distributing this Ras. This is Srila Gurudev, drinking and giving, distributing. So, Raga Nuga Bhakti Sadhana Bhajan, this is the process Gurudev taught. Not inventing, not speculation. Chaitanya Charitamrita has described. Prem, Ras, Niryas, Karite Asvadam, Raga Marga Bhakti Loke, Karite Pracharan, Rashikshakar Kisha Parama Karuna, Eidu Hetu Ichara Utkama. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this world for what? To taste. Asvadan, what? Prem, Ras. The Prem of Srimati Radhika. And he taught the process. Prem, Ras, Niryas, Karite Raga, Marga, Bhakti Loke, Karite Pracharan. He came to prachar, to propagate, to preach. Raga Marg. This is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writing in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why Mahaprabhu came to this world? So Gurudev had to establish that. First, what is the goal? What is the goal? Manjari Bhav. Our goal is Radhika. We want to be Radhika's Palya Dasi. We want to serve Srimati Radhika only. We want only her. Gurudev always say, Tavevasmi na jivami toyavina iti vidyara devitum nemancharam. I'm yours, Srimati Radhika. I'm only yours. So Gurudev, really, he is sent by Srimati Radhika. Radhika sent her here to this world and said, please collect jivas. I want to taste their prem. Radhika gave a bag full of bhakti lata, beach, seeds of prem, and said, give to all this. I want to taste the prem. So Srila Gurudev is a very intimate associate, eternal, Nitya Sira, eternally perfect. In his whole life, since birth, he was born in a very high Vaishnava family. Since birth, reciting Bhagavad Gita 5 years old by heart. Very, very pious. Pure devotee from birth. So, he gave us all this. And this Shiravika Madhavayura Paramadurya Vila Nikunja Yuno Ratikalisiya Yayalivi Chuktira Pekshaniya Tattati Daksharati Valavasya Bhande Kuroshi. If somebody wants to get deep in bhajan, you can go. So many Vaishnavas Gurudev has left. Gurudev, they asked him, what are we going to do when you leave Gurudev? He said, don't worry. I will leave many Narayan Maharajas. Same wine, different bottle. He says he left many of his followers, his sannyasis, and even not sannyasis, and many also brahmacharis, very hidden jewels. They have so much to give, bhakti. If you want to taste the real nectar of prem, because Gurudev said, in Keshavari Gaudiya, he says, this kunja, this is Vinod kunja. You know Radha Vinod Bihari? In Keshavari Gaudiya, Gurudev says, this kunja is Vinod kunja. But in Radha Raman Gaudiya Math in Delhi, he says, this is my kunja, Raman kunja. So there's a very great Vaishnava there. very secretly, very low profile, not exhibiting, I am Guru, I'm nothing. Very simple, very humble. And he is supplying such wonderful moods in Mangalarti. If anybody wants to taste the splendid Gurudev left in Raman Kunj, then they can go and stay there 6 months in this mat. Go every day to Mangalarti, and then something will come in our hearts. So Srila Gurudev, so much he gave, so much. It's not possible to. I am a materialistic person, completely absorbed in Maya, in enjoying my senses, my eyes. And how can I glorify a person which is completely transcendental from this realm? How can I glorify? How can I even try for 1 second? So, anyway, Gurudev, then there's the next verse. It says, Sakshat Taripena Samastu Shastra Ruptastata Bhavyateva Savi Kintu Prabhutya Priyavatase Bande Guroshicharan. We say that all Shastra, all the scriptures declare that Guru, Satguru, is directly Hari, Lord Hari, no difference. And Srila Gurudev, many times, he revealed this. He revealed how he is directly, he has the Shakti, the power of God. He never wants to exhibit like a mundane or materialistic miracles, because that is in the material plane. He is beyond. He can give transcendental awakening our spiritual consciousness, completely awakened, so we can see who we really are. That is millions of times higher than making a mundane material example. But anyhow, sometimes he would do things like, for example, one lady told a story, Krishna Rose, Didi. She told a story that one time Gurudev was going in his morning walk, and there was one Indian lady crying in the street with her child that had died many hours before. And she would hold on to Gurudev and beg him, please help me, my son is dead, help. And she tried to make him help her. So at the end, Gurudev went down, and in his ear, he gave that child the Kama Gayatri. He recited that mantra, and the child, again, the soul re-entered that body, and he woke up, and it was a miracle. So then when he came back to the temple, Gurudev said, do you know why I did this? Only to give glory to the power of mantra. So this is Gurudev, Sakshat Dari Venastamasa Shartet, Kintu Prabhuya Priya Evatasya Vande Guru. He is directly the potency of God. Another time there was one lady which was pregnant, and she had a child which had one more chromosome, the syndrome of Down. So Gurudev just put his hand on her stomach, and immediately the child was born as a normal child. So these kind of things, which are material examples, which are only material examples, really, because what he came to give is a million times higher than that. He came to establish our eternal spiritual position. He came to establish who we really are spiritually, and to make us have an eternal relationship with God. That's what Gurudev gave us. It's so high. So high, so high. I mean, no one ever has claimed, no one before had ever done this. With the help of Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, who came and cut the jungles of Mayavada and Shunyavad and all these things, and he prepared the field so that Srila Gurudev could come after and give us this ras, this prem ras. So then, very beautiful. Yasya prasadam bhagavat prasad yasya prasadam nagati kitopi dvayan swam tasya satyasandam bande guroshi charanaram. Without the mercy of Guru, we could have nothing at all, nothing. Because It is impossible. We have no Shakti, we have no Bhakti, we have nothing. And everything, Gurudeva is everything to us. I'm thinking, even in also in this song, Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya, it is said, if I analyze myself, I have no qualities at all. Your mercy, your grace is the essence of my existence. So in this way, without the mercy and the grace of Guru, there's no quality. When I come to think, who am I? What am I? It's only the grace and the mercy of Gurudev, like how to walk. Gurudev taught us how to walk without shoes in Vrindavan. He taught us how to talk only Harikatha, only Harinam, Hare Krishna, no Brahmakatha. Brahmakatha na shunu, Brahmavarta na koive. He's taught us all these things. Braj Radha Krishna Seva Manase Karive, only serve Shri Radha and Krishna in the mind, in Braj. He taught us do Manasi Seva. He taught us what to see. Okay, only see Thakurji and Vaishnavas. How to eat. He taught us that we should eat only Mahaprasad offered to God. Even he would chastise, don't eat with your left hand. Eat with right. Or he taught us even how to clean ourselves after going to the toilet. Imagine, I mean, he is mother, he is father, he is everything. Before this, who? Gurudev taught us how we should even be clean, how we should go to the toilet, how we should have fresh clothes, how we can put the tilak in the parts of our body, how we can dress, walk, talk. There's nothing in our whole being that is not taught by Srila Gurudev. Nothing. Nothing. Srila Gurudev so much insisted, I want you to preach my mission all over the world. 1, 2, 3, 10, 15 times. I'm like, Gurudev, I don't know anything. I am nothing. I'm no one. I don't know. I have. But he insists, always insisting. Why? Because my tongue has no muscle and it can move and talk garbage all day long. But he engaged mercifully. He says, no, engage your tongue in speaking Harikatha. Speaking the glories of Guru, of Vaishnavas, of Gauranga, Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna, Nityananda, Panchatattva, all. Engage your tongue in something purifying. So that's how Gurudev is everything to us. Without him, where would we be? Just imagine. Where would we be without Srila Gurudev? I cannot imagine for 1 second. And last, it says, this song, very beautiful. Okay. One verse that Gurudev wrote, the Gurudev, Vyasadev, the Mangala Charan, the auspicious invocation of all Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmadiya Sayato Itartashta Shavigasura, Tele Brahmahidaya, Adikamaya Muhantiya Suraya, Tejovari Midam Jata, Trisharga Mishadhamna Swena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. This verse is very important from the Mangala Charan, the auspicious invocation of all Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasadev, he compiled all the Vedas, divided them into 4, but was not happy in his heart. He even did the 5th Veda with the mantras that were left over. He compiled the historical part, the Mahabharata, where Bhagavad Gita is, for people with less intelligence. But anyhow, he was not happy in his heart. So his guru corrected him, Narad Muni. He said, are you going to be happy identifying your body and your mind with objects of self-realization? You've talked so much about dharma, about moksha, liberation, about artha, economical development, kama, the desires, these 4 goals of human life. You've described so much about this, but you've mentioned very, very little about Bhagavan. Etecham Sakala Purushak, Tu Bhagavan Swayam, Krishna, which is the source of all incarnations, the pastimes of Krishna. You have described very little. everybody's going to be confused. Nobody understands who is Supreme Lord. You've just confused all, Gurudeva used to say. You've just confused all. Imagine after compiling all the Vedas, the Guru tells you, you've just confused all. Focus. Nobody understands who is Supreme Lord. Is it Brahma? Is it Shiva? Is it Ganesh? Is it Garuda? Who is it? Everybody's just confused. So he spoke Harikatha. Gurudeva explains very beautifully. He spoke Harikatha and he came in Bhakti Samadhi Yoga, trance. He spoke all the Harikatha, all the pastimes of Krishna, all the different levels of bhaktas. He asked him, without hearing about the pastimes of the bhaktas, about the devotees, how can your heart be happy if you don't speak about prema? Prema pumartomaham, the fifth and supreme goal of human life. How can your heart be happy if you don't speak about prem, which is the fifth goal of human life, with which Vishwanath Chakravarti could describe. Saradyo Bhagavam Prayesatares Dhamma Brindavanam Raima Kachitupar Srimad Bhagavatam Pramalam Amanam Prema Pumartomaham, the fifth and supreme goal of human life. If you don't speak about this, how can your heart be happy? Nonsense, you've just confused everyone. So, Narad Muni spoke Harikatha. He was in trance, Bhakti Samadhi Yoga trance. He saw all the pastimes of Rasa Leela and all the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And then, when he came out of his trance, he wrote his own commentary, the Vedanta, the conclusion, Anta, the final part of all the Vedas, which is Bhakti. Therefore, Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Guru Maharaj, the Bhakti Vedanta is the conclusion of all the Vedas, which is from all the tree of Prem. Nigama kalpa taruhur galitam param sukha dhruvam ditatrava samjatam pivata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhura hora sika bhuvi babuka. Oh, intelligent and wise man, drink that nectar. Drink. What? Hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. From all the tree of Vedic knowledge, from all the tree, the very ripe fruit is Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Puran. That fruit is very ripe. It has no seeds, it has no skin, it has no strings. It is pure ras. Pure ras. This is prem. Prema is the mature, the ripe fruit of all the literature of the Vedas. Is prema. Prem ras. So this is the conclusion of all the Vedas. And Vyasadeva, he wrote this verse. The Gurudev meditated for 30 years. 30 years he meditated on this verse. Jan Madhya Sayatoitaratash Tatiswaviga Swarat. And Vyasadeva, he saw everything, and he saw Ras Leela. So this verse has a general meaning, which is Satyam Param Dhimahi, meditate on Krishna. But there's so many other meanings. There's the meaning of the conjugal couple, divine couple. There's the meaning of also Srimati Radhika, also of Mahaprabhu, Jan Madhyasya, and also of Srimati Radhika. So Gurudev describes this very beautifully in one semblance, very beautiful in Mathura. All the great Mahabhagavats from all the Sampradayas were invited to speak about what is the essence of all Bhagavatam. And they all spoke according to their mood and bhav and rasa. And Srila Gurudev concluded amongst all these very amazing scholars, Sanskrit scholars, speaking very beautiful with, rhythms and all, little disciples, 10-year-old, reciting all these beautiful hymns. But Srila Gurudev concluded, Satyam Param Dhimahi, I meditate in that supreme truth, is the divine couple, Srimati Radhika and Krishna. But also Radharani. Janmadi. Janmadi means that Radhika is Janma. Adi, she gives birth, Janma, to the first rasa, Madhurya ras. Madhurya ras and all the rasas below that, like Shanta ras, like Dasya ras, Sakya ras, Vatsalya ras. All these rasas are manifested because of her, because she is Adi ras. From Madhurya Rasa, all the other rasas are manifested. So, Janmadhyasya. This is Srimati Radhika. So, Vyasadeva, in his heart, he saw Rasa Leela. Gurudeva meditated 30 years in this verse. 30, which is the Mangalacharan, is the seed of all the Bhagavatam. And he concluded, Janmadi, that Srimati Radhika, she gives birth, Radha Krishna conjugal, the divine couple give birth, but especially Radhika, to all these rasas. Janmadhyasya itaratash chartasu avigasara. He is seen Rasa Leela. Janmadhyasya itaratash chartasu. Itaratash chartasu means Radharani directly when she is in Rasa Leela, and indirectly when she leaves Rasa Leela, when she becomes a little jealous and leaves. So Janmadhyasya itaratash chartasu abhigya. Abhigya means Srimati Radhika. She is the embodiment of all knowledge. Because abhigya, all knowledge is the real knowledge. She is the embodiment of the 64 arts. Give pleasure to Krishna. What is the use of having so much knowledge, so many shlokas, knowing so much, if you don't know how to serve Krishna? So the 64 arts, she embodies the 64 arts to serve Krishna. So she is knowledge. From all knowledge, the best knowledge of all is bhakti. Because through bhakti you can see God. There's no other knowledge. There's no other way to see God if not through bhakti, the eyes of prem, of devotion. So she is the embodiment of knowledge. Janmadi Abhigya Swarat. Swarat is very important. She is independent. Krishna is not independent. Because this Madanatya Mahabhav, the highest level of prem, is self-manifest from Radharani. Krishna does not have it. He has to even ask or beg her to lend him that mood so he can taste this prem, Madanatya Mahabhav. But he cannot, even if he tries. So she is independent. Then he is seeing Raslila. Janmadiya Sweta Itarachasuvya. Tene Brahma Hridaya. It is Radhika. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adhikamaya Muhanti. She is giving all this ras tattva, all this mood, this bhakti ras in the heart of the first poet, Adhikavaye. Adhikavaye. In the general meaning, it is Krishna gave all the knowledge to the first poet, Brahma. But in this deeper meaning, it's Radhika who gives all the knowledge to the first parrot. The first poet is Sukha, the parrot of Srimati Radhika, which after becomes Sukadeva Goswami. So, Janmadhyasya Itaratash Vigasara, Tene Brahma Hridaya, Adhikamaya Muhantaya Suraya. Muhantaya Suraya. This is Rasa Leela. So, all the demigods are coming with their wives in their planes, and they want to witness Rasa Leela, but they cannot. They faint. They faint. Muhyanti. They faint. Shura, the demigods, they faint. They cannot witness such elevated prem, divine pure love of Radha and Krishna. So they faint. Tejo Varni Mridam. This is describing Tejo, means the fire, the moon, full moon red like the fire. Tejo Varni means the water Jamuna moving, which when Krishna plays the flute, it starts going backwards and it starts forming a whirlpool and taking the lotus flowers and throwing them to the feet of Krishna. The Jamuna becomes mad by hearing the flute of Krishna. Tejovani Mridam means the earth, where Krishna puts his feet and plays the flute and the stones melt from so much bliss. Well, this is the description of Rasa Leela. The Veda Vyas is witnessing. Tejovani Mridam Jata Trishardam. So Srimati Radhika, she is the one that manifests all the Shaktis. Shri, Bhu, Nila Shakti, all the Shaktis. She manifests all the goddesses, the gopis, the goddesses of fortune, the earth, everything she manifests, all Shakti, all potencies. And then Dhamna Swena Sada, far beyond this Maya place, far beyond this Maya place, there's this Golok Vrindavan, where Srimati Radhika is eternally enjoying, giving pleasure to Krishna. So therefore, Satyam Param Dhimahi, I meditate in that supreme Radhika, because she's eternally supreme truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi, I meditate in that supreme truth, Radharani, who is giving eternally pleasure to Krishna. So when Vyasadeva sees that although Krishna, that Kinkari Subhahu Savaluka Kuvani Nityam Parasa Purusasa Sikanda Molita Syakadara Sanidar Vishavanujaya, that Keli Kunjavavananga Marjanisam. Although Krishna is the source of all universes, of all the creation, now he's at the feet of the Kinkaris. Imagine the Kinkaris, not even of Radharani, no, of the servants, the Manjaris of Srimati Radhika, with a broken voice, Kakubani, please, let me enter the Kunja, let me enter, crying, and the Manjari saying, no, get out, Lalita, Shaki, Rupa Manjari, get out, you cannot come in this Kunja, you cannot enter. Gurudeva, so many times, this is one of his favorite verses. He would always describe how wonderful are the Kinkaris, how powerful the Manjaris, the servants of Srimati Radhika, that Krishna, he is the creative means of universes, but he is completely helpless now, on his knees, crying, begging, let me enter, crying, please, with broken words, he cannot speak, please let me enter. And the Manjaris, get out. And Prabhupada Saraswati could praise, when can I become a stick of the broom that cleans that kunja that even Krishna is not allowed to go in, or Srimati Radhika. So this mood of the Goswamis, this mood of the Manjaris, this mood Gurudeva came to give us. He came to give the essence of all the Vedas. So the essence of all the Vedas is Prem. But which Prem? This Rasa Leela description, this Prem Ras, this Prem Ras Kirtan, Prema Bhakti Ras. This is the essence of all the Vedas. This is what Vyasadeva realized in his heart when he saw this first verse, Mangala Charan, is described in this Rasa Leela. So Srila Gurudeva, Vyasadeva, he knew in the future, because so many acharyas came, Madhvacharya came, Vishnu Swami, Nimbaditya and Ramanujacharya, they came, Mahabhagavats, but they could not give what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give, and even he could not, Rupa Goswami, because Mahaprabhu was absorbed in so many deep moods, like a treasure chest, very locked, nobody understood his moods, but Rupa Goswami, he opened the treasure chest of jewels of Prem, Brajras. Jankali Rupa, Sariyana Darata Tantraja Prema Mahanidhi Kotarik. Who would have given this if not Rupa Goswami? So he opened that treasure chest, he left the key for Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami opened and he distributed these jewels of Braj Prem. So this Prem, the highest Prem, is that of Radha Krishna and Ras Leela. So this is what Vyasadeva came. He knew in the future Mahaprabhu would come. So only those who can meditate directly in the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika, Satyam Param Dhimahi, only Manjaris. Only Manjaris. So Gurudeva explains that if we read all the Vedas, this is one time he spoke this in Devaranda Gauriaman, 1997-98. He said, this is my best class ever, after, when he finished. he went to his room and he told us, the devotees, and he said, if we read all the Vedas, we cannot know what is to be done, because there's so many divisions and subdivisions, and we'll just get confused. So just go to the seed of all the Vedas. The seed of all the Vedas is, what is it? The seed of all the Vedas is Omkar. When this seed opens, it becomes Brahma Gayatri. This Brahma Gayatri is Veda Mata, is the mother of all the Vedas. Brahma Gayatri. Brahma Gayatri says, Bhargo Devasya Divmahi. I meditate in the Bhargo, in the potency of Deva, Krishna. So who is the potency of Krishna? Srimati Radhika. Gurudeva explains that from all the Vedic, all the Vedas, the seed is Om. Om manifests as Brahma Gayatri. Brahma Gayatri says, I meditate in the potency of Krishna. That is, to meditate in Srimati Radhika. This is the essence of all the Vedas. So Gurudeva explained another time in his Vyasa Puja in Alachua. He said, for a very long time, my heart has been wanting me to reveal this. So today I will reveal it. He said that Gayatri, she comes from the transcendental realm that Krishna brought her. Krishna brought her to this material realm because from the spiritual, and she's Radhika's Palya Dasi, she's a servant of Radharani. But he brought her and married her, Krishna brought her and married her by force to Brahma. She didn't want to, but he wanted to establish a parampara. Parakya Bhav means she belongs to somebody else, but she wants so much to go back to serve Radharani. So she herself, Gayatri, she did bhajan for thousands of years. And she did bhajan, and then the swarup of the Om seed transformed into Kling. The Om seed transformed into Kling. And that is the Brahma Gayatri transformed into Kam Gayatri. So Gurudev says, by chanting Kam Gayatri, she herself came and opened the process so that we could attain that. What is it? The result of chanting Kama Gayatri is that one will someday take birth after attaining Bhav, the level of Bhav, Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sango Tata Vajana Kirtan Nata Shat Nishta Ruti Sata Atha Shakti Sata Prema Tata Prem Bhava Tata Premam Vindan Chati Sadakamananyam Prabhut Bhavet Kramat. So gradually, first Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Vajana Kirtan Riti, Nishta Ruchi Sati Bhav. When a person attains Bhav, the result of chanting Kam Gayatri is that one takes birth in some of the universes where Krishna is manifest in his pastimes, in the womb of a gopi, with a body which is just Satchitananda, no mature body, only Satchitananda. And at that time, one can perfect the levels of Prem, Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav, all the levels of Prem, of love. And then one attains Vastu Siddhi. And Srila Gurudev said, that is Diksha, completed. We think, I took Diksha 40 years ago, I'm so senior. Real Diksha is when we realize we take birth in the womb of a gopi in one universe of Krishna. In the womb of a gopi, and our body is Satchitananda. And when we perfect all the levels of Prem, sometimes many births, even with body Satchitananda. Because Gurudev said, actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti says that Golok Vrindavan is not a training center. We must become perfected here first. So the result of chanting Kama Gayatri is that we take birth in the womb of Gopi and perfect all levels of Prem, become Diksha completed, the Swarup Vastu Siddhi. So Srila Gurudev explains that the conclusion of all the Vedas, the conclusion of all Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva realized is Rasa Leela. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he only came to give this Rasa Lila, this Ras Kirtan. So only those who could actually give this in the hearts of his disciples, who have realized this Braj Prem, this Nigama Kalpatarur Galitam Padam Sukha Pivatavatam Prasanam Alayam Rasanam, this rasa, this mature fruit from all the Vedas, which is prem ras, this juice. It has no seeds, no skin, no strings. It's pure ras. He who has that bhakti ras in his heart and who can distribute it to others, only he can sit in a Vyasa San and represent Vyasadeva. That was our Gurudev. And that was his great glory, that he came to give this bhakti ras. He distributed to the whole world, to the most fallen. He gave this taste of ras. And this is what Mahaprabhu came to give. Unata Uchvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam. The service in the conjugal love of Shri Radha Krishna. Who has not understood this is not a follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what to speak of realizing it? So Srila Gurudev is the real representative of Vyasadeva and the Juga Acharya of this age. Because Rupa Goswami is our Acharya, of course. But Gurudev was given the title Juga Acharya by all the Brajavasis, all the great Pandits of India, of Braja. Why? Because he would give this bhakti ras to all of them. Although they knew all Shastra, all this literature of all the Goswamis without tasting bhakti ras, then knowledge without tasting is no knowledge at all, like Gurudev used to say. So today, I give pranams to our most greatest Rasikacharya, who came to give what no one had given before. For millions of years, Srila Mahaprabhu descended to give this. And he came to give it, and he gave it to the hearts of all the Goswamis or Manjaris. They have this. And all the Guru Parampara, Rupanuga Guru Varga, they're tasting this ras. And Srila Gurudev mercifully came to distribute all this bhakti ras in the heart to realize this real meaning of Sankirtan, which is that transcendental divine love of Radha and Krishna with all the gopis. This beautiful Ras Lila this is the real goal of a real Acharya in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the real representative of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami and all our Rupanuga Guru Varga. So I'm very happy to be able to remember his glories, remember everything he has come to give freely, so high. Those who did not have Sukriti could not approach or stay with him because their Sukriti would not allow them to go and receive such high wells. This Braj Prem, this Prem Ras. So I offer millions of Dandava Pranams to the lotus feet of my Divine Master. May he always keep me in the shade of his feet forever, life after life after life. May I become an instrument of his love, of his mercy, of his teachings, so that I can propagate what he so generously came to give to all of us. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Gaura.